What's up, card fighters? RapTorSlevin here, giving you the lowdown of the World Championship Indonesia 2012 qualifiers. Let's get straight to it with the top 4. I have to mention that all of these top 4 decks are going to be Gold Paladin variants. Let's get started with the first of the top 4, Johannes. He's using a Garmor deck, nothing really too special about this. He is using the Superior Call for the with the Blonde Hazel. Unusual choice, but in a big tournament you might want to have a Superior Call because you may just miss those important grade rides. He's using the Gintech Destroyer, meaning he has Force, Slag or Dagger. That's an important combo that actually hits for 21. As you can see later, the top 3 are actually Spectral Duke Dragon builds, meaning he can actually hit 21, maybe, push for damage easier than most others can. But as you can see, nothing really too special going on with this list. So let's get on with the second of the top 4. This is Iqbal. He's using a Spectral Duke build with Gigantech Destroyers, some Guardmores, and nothing really else too special. Very, very standard list. He is using, however, 2 Nimble. Is that? Yes, Player of the Holy Axe Nimble, which is a very weird thing to use. Considering he's already playing the 3 Vivian as well, I don't think that was necessary, but he obviously sacrificed a 4th Perfect Guard for it. Apparently it worked out for him. Anyway, let's get on to the second deck. Second place was Henry with the Hazel Duke build. Garmor? Maybe. Maybe he used to ride that sometimes. You may as well just had another Holy Mage Marin at that point, if you're using Spectral Duke usually with the Blonde Hazels. Again, nothing too special about this. It only has 1 trip. He decided to take out one of the vanillas, the 10k vanillas for a trip, which, isn't really such a bad idea. It gets to unflip some damage. It's a tech. However, there is another problem here with Silver Fang Witch. Now, I can understand this. Because your Vanguard is never going to really reach over 21, you can just hit for 16 with it. That would usually be enough. Get that extra draw. You're not using any of your souls, so a Tech Witch isn't that bad. Again, they seem to be using these Player of the Holy Axe Nimble. I am not particularly fond of this, but he has gone for a different draw setup. This is the 6 draw compared to the 4 draw that everyone else has been running. So therefore, he's only running 6 crit, whilst everyone else is running 8 crits, a very standard 8 crits. However, let's get on to the winner, Randy. He has a hybrid build of Garmor and Spectral Duke. I actually quite enjoy this build. It seems very straightforward. Not too many different techs. It has a charge girl in there, so you can actually use the Garmor ability and hit for 26. Yet he can just switch to Spectral Duke if he needs to, and hopefully have a ride chain and get that double attack in. Very typical grade 2 lineup. I actually put, with the Vivians, quite necessary in this. I actually think this is probably the better build out of all 4 of them, just because of its straight and narrowness. No messing about, just very defined, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get this ride chain off, then I'll go into Garmor, then I'll go into Charge Gull. Hopefully, with that much pressure early game, that can win him the game. So many pluses as well. Okay, now let's look at the full breakdown of the clans. Now, as you can see, 50% are Gold Paladin. This is quite worrying. What's even more worrying is that 30% are Namukari, which I personally believe is a deck that doesn't really do anything. It's a worse Kagero. So why are players playing a worse version of Kagero? There's less control. The only thing Namukari have is a Vermilion, which is basically a slightly better Dragonic Overlord, and they have also a booster, which boosts for over 10. That's the only difference between those two. Yet Namukari are having a bigger percentage of play, which is odd. So what does that say? Not much, but really it does. If you look if you add 50% and 30%, that means gold and Namakari, 80% of the competition were decks played by the two main characters. Basically, the two starter decks as well. Now, this just shows you really that maybe the Indonesian players are just playing for playing's sake. They've not really taken this seriously, very casual, let's say, a very casual outcome to this game. As the rest of the clans have all been grouped together to make 20%. Now let me just say, 180 people participated in this event, meaning that 90 players were gold paladin, with the rest of the clans 30. That's too small, nearly. The anime seems to be actually tilting the decisions of the players of what they're actually going to choose to play with. Maybe with the structure decks as well, they just couldn't be bothered to actually get more different cards, get different clans, try stuff out. They went, oh, what's Archie using? He's using gold paladin. I'll use gold paladin. What's Kai using? He's cool. Let's play some Namakari. They've not really thought. They've not really experienced anything else. Therefore, they've not done anything to change the meta up. If you look at the Canadian Nationals, which I'll come on to later, there is a big spread of decks. But that'll be next video where I describe that very briefly. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little breakdown of the Indonesia qualifiers. Give us a like if you'd like to, and subscribe if you want some more news like this. Thanks very much. Peace. Some videos you may have missed, me and Maxen on the left talking about why you guys should be playing some Kagero, and on the right is a deck profile of Oracle Think Tank